It's Robin and Chet with Chet and Robin's Sea Lake Journeys.
Sea Lake Journey!
How y'all doing tonight? So we're going to be talking about our excursion that we did in
Dominica.
It's not Dominican Republic, so
That's right. It's two different places.
Yes, we went whale watching. We went to see the sperm whales.
That's right. It was an excellent excursion, I think.
So it was about somewhere between 3.5 hour excursion. The very first thing was we booked the excursion before we got on the ship, so the tickets were in our room. We got off the ship and we met right there at the end of the pier.
That's right.
And we stood around for, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes waiting for the whole group to arrive. And then we walked over to the boat. It was parked right beside the ship. It's like right there.
You can throw a rock and hit it.
Yeah.
It's a 65-foot long catamaran, and close enough you can throw a rock and hit it.
Yes. For us, remember, Chet is an amputee. The only thing for us that was a little hairy was when you walked off of the dock, the stairway to get down to where the boat was, extremely steep.
Yes, this was not an excursion you can take a scooter or wheelchair on. You will not be able to go. If you have mobility issues, probably not for you. Getting down that staircase, it was steep.
It was a little scary.
Kind of wet. Scary. And I was able to do it no problem, but a lot of other people are going to have issues. One lady did have issues, and they basically carried her down and up, and I was very surprised they did that. It looked quite dangerous. I was waiting for somebody to get hurt.
Yeah. And then when you stepped off of the pier onto their little boat, they held your hands and they helped you with that
step across from the dock to the ship, the boat.
I don't know. I really don't know the distance between where you stepped off the dock onto their boat. It was a hefty step.
I needed help. I grabbed two guys to make sure I could get across. It's probably almost 3 feet.
Mainly for the balance and the distance. So the distance was, it was a good 3 feet of water underneath you.
Yeah.
Then we got on the boat, and the first thing they did was they did their little safety briefing, and told you, there was a head-on little boat and things like that, and there's no guarantee you're going to see any wildlife. It is wildlife. It is not a zoo. It is wildlife that swims around in the ocean. So we drove out. It was very, very calm waters. We drove out, a mile was it?
3 miles.
3 miles.
But we could still see our ship.
And so the first thing they did was they had this
microphone
sound thing.
Yeah.
And they dropped it down the water, and the captain had on earphones. Mm-hmm. And he said that he was listening for the whales, that they talk. We don't know what sound is. And he could tell that they were nearby. So he said, okay, we're going to take off and go see the whale. And it's so funny because it's like, the race is on, because all these other boats are out there. Everybody's out there to see the whales. We were on a bigger one, but there was a smaller boat. And there were, I don't know if there were individual people or what, but it was like the race was on. We're all going to get to the whales. And because everybody wants to see the whales. It's not big top secret, they kind of help get everybody over there to see the whales. So we got there, and the first ones we saw, 3 or 4 whales, was it?
Yeah, they was just parked right on top of the water, blowing water out their blowholes, and we were probably, 20 feet from them, if that. I could have tossed a water paper over and hit them in the old blowhole there.
And it was exciting because when we were heading, when he said, okay, he points on our heading, and he says, watch for the spouts. Everybody's looking, and we were pretty far off, and you could see the water spout over the whale. It's like, there they are. And
the race was on again.
The race was on again. And they say that, I might not get the exact time frames right, but they surface, and if they don't flip their tail, they go down for 10 or 15 minutes or something like that, and then they'll surface again. But if they flip their tail, that means that they're diving deep. and it'd be almost
45
minutes to an hour before they surface again. And they won't surface in that same spot, of course.
But there's more than one pod there. There's several pods. So you go over here and see this one, and then you go over here and see that one.
Yeah.
That's
It was pretty exciting. And then we learned that the female whales always stay in Dominica. They don't go anywhere. The males, they travel wherever it is they travel to. I don't really know where. But the females all stay there. And another fascinating fact about the females were that the babies nurse off of any female that they are related to. They'll nurse off their mother, their grandmother, their aunts, their cousins. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty interesting fact about whales that I didn't know anything about.
How about that? They were very knowledgeable. They knew how to find these whales. They knew all kinds of stuff about these whales that we learned. And they were friendly guys and a lot of fun to hang out with. And after we had watched the whales for quite some time, they told us that where the whales were taking us was where the Atlantic and the Caribbean meet.
Yeah.
Bam! Together. And guess what happens when bodies of water meet like that?
It gets rough.
Yeah. So some of the people started getting a little.
Yeah, the water was definitely getting rough, and the wind was picking up, and I just had no clue that the Atlantic and the Caribbean met like that right there.
Yeah.
You know, it was pretty fascinating. And they said that whenever the whales got to that portion, they would head way out to sea. They said, so, okay, we're going to head inland and we're going to tour the coast back up to the cruise ship. Which, another thing that I thought was so fascinating was we could still see our cruise ship where we were at. Why is it that we were on the cruise ship, we couldn't see these whales?
Because we were in the pizza line, I guess.
I don't know.
And the whales in the pizza line.
So if you don't do a whale excursion when you're in Dominica, when you're pulling into the port, go out on deck and see if you can see the whale spouts. I'm sure that the cruise ship's not going to get as close to the whale as we were in the smaller boat, but it's pretty exciting to see the water spout.
Yeah, that was great. I'll tell you what.
So
yes.
when we went down the coast,
yes.
When we went down the coast, he pulled up to some very interesting little, I don't know if you'd call them villages or what. It happened to be Sunday. Wasn't it Sunday? And they were having church.
Yes, it was Sunday.
It was Sunday, and they were having church. Yeah. And he had pulled up to several churches, and it was fascinating to see the kids playing in the water right there at the church. And
you could wave at people.
Yeah, you could wave at people. There were people fishing, just regular people that live on the island doing their regular everyday life. And we got a great tour coming back down the coast.
Back to the cruise ship. And but the bottom line question I got for you is, would you recommend this excursion?
I absolutely would recommend this excursion. It was not overly priced. Some excursions are pretty pricey. I did notice that even though we don't travel with children, I think it was $12. If you had children under the age of 12, you got a cheaper rate for those children. And Animal Planet recommends this as well,
yes.
Which we love Animal Planet.
Yeah, we look for that. And that's one of the great things about the Princess website. They have Animal Planet recommendations, and the ones we've done have always been very, very good. Like I say, you can't guarantee you're going to see animals, but these guys were experts and had the equipment and the experience. And once we went out to 3 miles, it took 10 minutes to get out there, and 5 minutes after that, we were looking at whales.
We really enjoyed it. It was fascinating. No matter where you were on the boat, you could see the whale.
Yes.
And
they made sure if the whales were on this side this time, and the next time we saw whales, they made sure the other side of the boat.
Yes. So we hope you like our video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get 100 subscribers. Well, thank you for watching, and you have a good evening.